Cheers, everyone. Right, okay. It's been a very long time since I've done any sort of video. Last sort of recording that I did was while I was on the GB Duro. Most of you probably all know how that ended. Not how I planned. But for those of you that don't know how it ended, I'll explain later on why I didn't finish this year's edition of the GB Duro. Okay then, firstly then, thanks for joining me and welcome back, finally. I haven't given up on doing YouTube videos, it's been really difficult to get back into it. Excuses, but yeah, I've not done one in a while. Anyway, thanks for coming back. Please like and subscribe as always. That obviously helps me out and gives me a little boost to make the next video and stuff like that, so really appreciate it. Yeah, so today then, I'm basically gonna chat through this sort of back end of the year, go through what I've been going through myself, and yeah, go out for a bit of a ride on the Rooster, which is over there. So that's the plan, and yeah, thanks for joining me. Bit of a coffee, because you know, it's cold out, hence the layers. Lovely. Yeah, I'm going to have a bit of a coffee, a bit of a chin wag, and sort of talk through yeah, what happened. So those of you that followed me on my sort of journey to building back up to doing the GB Duro this year will know that I was proper, you know, I was really ready for it, really good to go, and really excited. And literally up until the point of doing it, everything was fine. And then the world started changing, and in particular in the vicinity of Afghanistan. And those of you obviously followed me for a while will know that I'm obviously in the army, and that has a direct sort of effect on me. What I mean by that then is work-wise. So work, for where I work then at 16 Assault Brigade, we then got stepped up and had to get involved with, as you would have all seen in the news, so it's nothing secret, I'm not telling you from anything you don't know, bring everybody back from Afghanistan as we withdrew from there. So it was quite a big operation, and a lot of people were involved and lost their time off for that summer period, you know, including myself, who was affected as well. Anyway, so I started the GB Duro, everything was going well, feeling really good, better bike, better kit. I say better bike. When I say better bike, I don't mean to offend Billy. Billy was a fantastic bike, but I feel like my on-one Rooster, as I've called it, is, you know, much more, how can I put this without offending the other bike? I say offending the other bike. But yeah, it's definitely more designed towards doing what I was doing, gear ratios, everything I had, lighter. It was just better suited to doing it. Anyway, so started the GB Duro, all was going well, felt really good, felt much fitter, better prepared, and all that. And in the background, while even before I started, I was having to do work, sending messages, updating stuff, all things to do with having to potentially be deployed. So in the back of my mind, I was trying to ride and concentrate on getting involved in the race and that, but in the back of my mind, this was creeping on, but I still wanted to keep pushing on. So yeah, the first day went really well. And first, I'd like to say that everyone, everyone that was on it, again, absolutely fantastic people. We met up with everyone on the beach that first day, the meet and greet on the Friday. It was amazing, and it was so nice because it wasn't as restricted as the year before. Just having that beer and that social gathering together of everyone there, you know, was really part of what the Racing Collective's all about, and it made that event fantastic for me. I really enjoyed that, being able to chat to people more, get to know people, their stories, why they're there, why they're doing it, etc. So it was really good on that side of things. Anyway, so we've done all that, set off on the race, and as I said, it was going all well. Set a really good pace the first day. Was planning on riding 24 hours, but it was quite hot on that first day, I'll be honest with you. A couple of people were suffering with heat. Actually came across one guy who really was struggling with heat. I think he had heat stroke, if I'm honest. Given him some heavy electrolytes to take, and informed a few people just to keep an eye on him. I'm not actually sure how he got on in the end. I know he was all right, so that's the main thing. But yeah, it was tough. Cracked on into the night, and again we've been crossing paths with a few people and stuff, and then people were like stopping and getting their heads down, etc. The usual suspects were out the front. Angus, he was on one, fantastic to see. Because of what had happened to him the year previous, he had his plan again this year. He stuck to it, and it was really good. I probably stopped. I don't know how many hours of riding I did on the first day, but I did a few hours, not quite 24, but I stopped to get. I think I had maybe an hour and a half sleep, just because I felt like I needed that little bit of rest to help me. It did give me a massive boost. The next day I felt absolutely fine. Body and everything felt good, and I was going through the whole processes that I did before. A lot of people just like sort of grizz it out. When I stop, I strip off regardless of how long I'm going to be there. Wash, clean myself, sort myself out, then have a bit of rest as best as I can, and I feel like it helps me sleep, helps me relax, helps me recover. So I did that. Cracked on into the second day, and had a really good second day again. Another long day, but felt good. In the background again, like I was saying, on the second day I probably lost loads of time because having to stop for hours. I was having to sort of send files, do things, all for work. So in my head it was creeping in that potentially something could happen. But yeah, I just had to get on with it and know that hope that I wouldn't get called back and that it would de-escalate the situation. Anyway, pushed through the second day. Probably had a little bit more sleep. I actually stopped just before Windy Gap. I was planning on going over it through the night, but as I was coming down the hill, I hit a massive badger hole and did a full flip over. My bike actually landed straight up the way and was just sat there. Laid there on the floor, got back up, bonbons everywhere on the floor, gutted about that, raspberry flavoured ones, they're amazing. But I thought, wow, this is probably a sign just to get some rest. So that's what I did. I decided to call it for the night there, get some rest. And actually, as I was getting ready to camp up, another lad, Ollie, came along. I think he came second in the end, if I'm honest. So yeah, he came along and we sort of bivvied up together that night. That was cool to have a bit of a bivvy partner. What was funny though is as I came off, I carried on riding down the hill before I started to bivvy. I noticed my glasses had come off my helmet, and I was like, oh no, I've only just got them back. I can't be losing another pair, so I actually put my bike there, just left it completely, walked back up the hill. Probably took me like 15 minutes, but I went back up there and I found them sat in the bush, and I was like, oh, thank God, I need to stop trying to lose glasses. Anyway, we bivvied up that night, and we got up the next day and cracked on for the sort of final part of that leg. Really good day again. The weather was kind. Through Windy Gap, everything. The sun, the sun was up. We had a good day. But again, in the background, I was getting messages, and just before I got to like the never-ending forest, as they call it, you lose phone signal there. There's no phone signal whatsoever. I was going in there. I had nothing to suggest that anything was going to happen. Into the never-ending forest, and it takes a fair few hours to get through it. When I came out the other side, my phone went absolutely banzai at me, and I mean like messages, just voicemails, missed calls, and I was like, shizness, something's gone down. So wasn't far from the first checkpoint. Looked at my phone. I had a lot of calls from my friend Jake, who's been on a few of my videos, and then I also had some from my wife. So I checked my voicemail from my wife first, and basically he was saying, listen, you've probably had loads of calls, don't worry about it, just get yourself to the checkpoint, then ring me and I'll explain everything. I sort of glanced through all the messages and I could sort of piece together what was about to come, but I knew that I didn't want to, I was in the middle of nowhere, so I needed to get to that checkpoint. So that's what I did. I cracked on then, pushed on probably quite hard at that point because I was, I just wanted to get there to find out what was going on. Got to the checkpoint and it was amazing, guys. I can't explain to you how that vibe, that feel of getting there. There was a little shower and stuff there, food was on, and everyone, it was there. It was amazing. Mark Beaumont was there, smiling away, regaling stories and stuff, and how his first experience of this had gone. So that was pretty cool to talk to him about. Obviously Angus was there, he'd been there a while, and yeah, as much as I'm rambling, this is pretty much what happened. And then I went through, started calling people, and basically got told that I had to get back to camp, so back to Colchester, for the next morning. And this is like in the late afternoon at this point. I need to be back there for I think 7 in the morning, to start sorting all my documents and stuff out, ready to be deployed to Afghanistan that night. Right, so obviously had that call. I'll say it's not the call I wanted to have. You know, at the end of the day, it's my job, and that is, you know, I have to put everything else aside and accept the fact that, you know, my job's helped me over the years. I've had a lot of great experiences through work, etc. So when things like this happen, it doesn't happen often. You know, you've just got to, you know, take it on the chin and know that you're not the only person in that position. So that's what I had to do. So sadly, I had to basically go up to Angus and everyone else was there and say, look, I'm really sorry, I'm not going to be starting the next day. I've got to go. And they, you know, and I explained what was happening. And I'd really like to thank them actually again. You know, I said, look, don't say anything. I don't know what the, you know, what's been said, etc. and that. Obviously, it's going to look strange because there's nothing wrong with me. There's nothing wrong with my bike. I'm not going to be starting the next day, so people are going to be asking questions. But please, you know, just don't mention anything. Give me time to get back, and then put a scratch message out, because people will be asking questions. And I sort of did a similar thing once I'd left. In terms of in terms of messaging and stuff like that, I thought, well, I need to say something, and people could put 2 and 2 together without giving too much detail away. And that's what I did. You know, that was where my race ended. GB Juro wise, and I'll be honest with you, I was absolutely devastated. You know, I put a lot into that, not just me, my family, you know, the cost and everything, you know, getting myself good to go, being fit. I felt everything, my ducks were all aligned, and I felt really, really good. And you know, managing to watch the rest of the race, and I just thought to myself that could have been me. You know, it's easy for me to say it, but I feel like, you know, they were my sort of conditions. You know, tough, wet, cold. That's sort of when I realistically thrive, and that's one of the reasons I like doing these sort of things, because they're hard. So yeah, to see how it had gone down, and then knowing that I couldn't no longer take part was pretty gutting. But I had to realise that there were bigger fish to fry, and yeah, I had to get back to Colchester. And that's pretty much why it ended. Back to work, and then just crack on from there. So long ramble, I apologise, and there is more detail to it, etc. and stuff like that. But needless to say, do I want to do the GB Juro again? Absolutely, 100%. It's a discussion I've got yet to have. You know, am I going to do it next year? Hopefully. I'd like to think if I applied again, you know, they would look at me favourably and say, you know what, he's had a bit of bad luck, and yeah, we know he can do it. I know I can do it. Hopefully you all know I can do it. And if I can get the stars to align, you know, 2022 should be the year that Adam Colvin eventually completes the GB Juro, and gets to see John O'Groats for the first time. So that is definitely on the cards. And I'll smile all the way again, and I'll do it all again, and I'll film it all again, and you know, I'll have a laugh all again. So hopefully that is going to be the case. Anyway, that's enough sort of said on that side of life. Other things have happened since then, but what I'll do is we'll get out for a ride, and I'll chat as I go around. We'll just have a bit of a chin wag, have a ride, get some hours in, and yeah, just have some fun. And I'll tell you everything else that's happened to me in these last few months, and probably why I haven't been making as many videos. So let's go. quick leg stretch stop. Today's ride then, I'm pretty much going to be going on the road. I know I'm on a bit of a gravel track right now, but I'll be honest, I stopped for a comfort break. Standard, probably do about 5 if I've had too many coffees, if that is such a thing. Although I did hear that if you have at least 3 coffees a day, it reduces the chance of Alzheimer's and having a stroke by 30%. So I'm probably covered about 90% then. So yeah, just going to hit the roads today, enjoy them. Main reason being is the grip in my left hand still isn't great. If I do too much off-road stuff at the moment, it gets a bit tired, and it's hard to brake and stuff. But I'll explain more about that in a bit. Why my hand's still knackered, for those of you that don't know. Right then, yeah. So post GB Jura and stuff then, I started training back on the roads, obviously getting ready for to race with the army, and mainly for the inter services and what have you. But that came to an abrupt end. Yeah, not a pleasant day that was. I was out on a ride with one of the other team lads, Paul, and everything was going well, feeling really good, both feeling really fit and strong. Looking forward to obviously doing the race literally a week later. And a guy swung across the road immediately in front of us to turn into his house. Coming the other way, could see him from a long way off, no indicator, cars behind us, cars behind him, and yeah, just turned straight into us and went to the side of him, about 30 miles an hour, as it was, you know, tapping on the pedals, and we were just starting to push on with an effort, so slammed into him like 2 torpedoes. Yeah, so we basically, as the car turned across, all I had time to do was move off Paul's shoulder. He hit the front as the car came across. I hit the back part, obviously went flying through the air, see my bike fly off, and that went on into oncoming traffic, which hit the next car. Ended up on my back further down the road. Paul's up behind me, and I'll be honest, not going into too many details, it was pretty grim, pretty bad accident, and we were both led on the road for over an hour. But what I would like to say is a big thanks to all the Essex or Suffolk air ambulance, police, ambulance services, hospitals, all the support that, you know, and the help that they gave us on that day, because it was pretty rats, and for those people that basically came to our aid, because yeah, on a good day. Needless to say, that bike is written off along with Paul's, but the bottom line is we're both okay, and we're both on the mend now, so winner winner. Yeah, that's been the, well, essentially then that's been the main reason I've not done any sort of videos or any other rides for a while, because I've just been recovering, getting myself back up to strength, and now I'm back out on the roads and stuff. Still got problems with my left hand. It's you know, I had some nerve damage to my fingers and stuff. My arm's working fine and everything now. It's just obviously recovering, getting that feeling, sensation, grip back in my hand, and it gets a bit tired quite quickly at the moment, but you know, fingers crossed it does come back. You know, Paul's also back on the mend. He had a broken pelvis, arm, everything as well, so you know, he's back on the mend, out riding and what have you. So yeah, main thing is we're on the mend, and it's good to be back out here doing a video and just having some fun on the road. Just appreciate the lovely autumn / wintry feel. So good to be out. What we saying then? I'm riding on the road, so I've got mud guards on. Classics. Mud guards on or off? I'm going to go with on when I'm on the road. Probably take them off if I go off road because they'll get clumped up, but yeah, mud guards on for now. What do you do? ride done then. Yeah, a little bit of a probably a long-winded video with explanations and stuff like that, and not a massive amount of filming outdoors, but we got it done anyway. So it's good to be back, out and doing what we love, which is riding bikes and having adventures. Yeah, hopefully that clears up a few of the grey areas of why I haven't done any videos in a while, obviously being injured, etc. But as I said, I'm back on the mend, back on the bike, so really happy with all that. Things in the pipeline then, obviously, you know, it's the build for next year, setting out my plans and targets, etc. I am looking to do the Festive 500 again this year. Thinking of doing something special for that, probably going to do it all in a one-er. Not sure where or how yet, but that's definitely something to watch out for. That'll be a pretty cool video. Yeah, there's potentially a couple of little mini adventures in between in the next coming weeks as well. So we'll get out, get some videos done, but stay safe, keep smiling, and yeah, it's great to be back. Thanks for joining.